Hello, little readers. Today we're going to read How Santa Lost His Job by Stephen Krensky. Every year before his big ride, Santa checked the weather, reviewed some maps, trimmed his beard, polished his boots, fed the reindeer, and packed the sleigh. He moved as fast as he could. But even so, there was always a last-minute rush. Some of the elves grumbled about this. Why can't Santa plan better? How come he's so slow? One year, an elf named Muckle said even more. Santa is too set in his ways, he declared. He wastes time and energy. Maybe so, his friends agreed. But what could they do? After all, Santa was only human. That gave Muckle an idea. For months he worked on a secret project, and almost every day, the mail carrier Clara dropped off packages at his door. "What are you up to?" she asked. But Muckle wouldn't say. He kept his workshop locked and didn't let anyone in. It was late fall when Muckle finally showed off his creation. "This is the Deliverator," he proclaimed. The other elves admired the shiny metal and blinking lights. "What does it do?" they asked. "It's a replacement," said Muckle, "for Santa." Muckle claimed that the Deliverator could travel around the world in one night. It could go up and down chimneys with ease, and it could deliver toys in the blink of an eye. Clara heard the news as she made her rounds. "But Santa already does those things," she told Muckle. "Maybe so," he said. "But the Deliverator will do them sooner, faster, and better." The other elves were impressed. However, they still needed proof. "Fine," said Muckle. "Let's test Santa against the Deliverator. The winner will deliver our toys from now on." When Santa heard the news, he shook his head. "There's more to my job than meets the eye," he said. "But since you make the toys, the decision is yours." In the first contest, the elves timed how long it took Santa and the Deliverator to get ready to leave. Santa always started off with a bubble bath. Then he carefully got dressed. One of his boots usually gave him a little trouble. The Deliverator didn't take baths or wear boots, so it was ready first. Next, Clara brought in 2 big sacks of mail. She put one in front of Santa and the other in front of the Deliverator. A pile of toys sat between them. "You have 1 hour," Muckle explained to Santa. "Whoever matches the most children with a gift wins." The Deliverator whirled and hummed, scanning each request with lightning speed and pairing it with a toy. Santa read more slowly. "Oh, I don't think he'd really like this," he murmured. And she didn't play with the one she got last year. Before long, he was hopelessly behind. The third contest started out on 2 adjoining rooftops. "Go!" shouted Muckle. Santa and the Deliverator each raced down a chimney. They both reached the bottom in a second and put the toys under the tree. But only Santa noticed the milk and cookies. "Chocolate chip," he said. "My favorite." The Deliverator didn't care about the cookies. It shot back out the chimney while Santa was still drinking his milk. "I told you," Muckle shouted. "Santa is history." The elves congratulated Muckle on his victory. Only Clara still thought they were making a mistake. "Santa isn't just about meeting a schedule," she said. "He cares about getting things right." But nobody would listen. "We're sorry," the elves told Santa. "But business is business." As the days grew shorter, the elves worked longer and harder. When each toy was finished, Muckle sorted and tagged it. Then it was loaded on board the Deliverator. When it was almost time to leave, storm clouds rolled in. "You should change the Deliverator's course," the elves told Muckle. "Too late," he said. "I've already programmed the route." The elves shrugged. "You must do it anyway, and make room for a few more gifts." "But I've already balanced the weight," Muckle protested. "Santa never complained about such things," the elves reminded him. "Very well," said Muckle, gritting his teeth. He fiddled quickly with the dials and switches. Then, fearing that the elves might ask for even more, Muckle made a decision. "Let's go," he said, pressing a button. The Deliverator's rockets fired up and it took off into the darkening sky. But with all the extra weight in new directions, the Deliverator seemed confused. Instead of disappearing from sight, it kept circling overhead. "Just a little more power," Muckle insisted. He pressed one button after another. The rockets glowed brighter. The Deliverator spiraled around faster and faster. Meanwhile, Santa was at home, trying to relax. But he felt strange having free time on this of all nights. He cleaned and dusted and cooked enough food to feed an army. Clara and the reindeer came over to keep Santa company. But even they couldn't get him to slow down. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. The elves were outside. "We need you, Santa," they said. "We need you now." When Santa arrived, the situation was all too clear. The elves looked very uncomfortable. "Santa, will you take your job back?" they asked. "Please?" "Of course," Santa said, and left it at that. Everyone, even Muckle, helped load the sleigh and hitch up the reindeer. It was their most hectic year yet. After that, nobody talked of replacing Santa again. Each year, there were new delays or mix-ups, but the elves didn't mind. They realized now that this was all perfectly normal. Still, not everything stayed the same. Santa had learned a lot from the whole experience, and as happy as he had been before, he was even happier in the years to come. The end. For more stories, please subscribe to our channel, Little Readers.